Donald Trump has issued more executive orders in his first week of the presidency than any other president in American history. He has gotten off to a running start. A lot of these executive orders mean basically nothing, and they're all virtue signaling. That's the vast majority of them. One of them, for example, is assigning gender at point of conception. Well, that's fucking stupid because everyone is female at the point of conception. So that's ridiculous. There are others where he wants to end birthright citizenship. That is blatantly unconstitutional. It's already been blocked by a Reagan-appointed judge who's been on the bench for 40 years. But he is also going after things that are fundamentally outside of his power to do so. We just put out a video yesterday, and it's happening as we're recording this. His fight to remove federal grants from all nonprofit organizations, from Medicaid, from Head Start, all that stuff. Okay. I want to talk about how this is a part of a larger strategy of Trump 2.0 here. He is going to flood the zone with everything he's got in these first 100 days. He is going to make your Twitter feed look insane, and he's going to make you feel insane talking about everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's almost like he's going to make you feel insane by trying to communicate how everything that's happening is insane.
Yes.
Because there's going to be so much of it. He's going to force you or anyone talking about it to face the challenge of, if everything is insane, then nothing is insane.
Yes, if everything's a crisis, then nothing's a crisis. Even though all of these things independently are absolutely separate crises. Losing birthright citizenship is an absolute crisis for the 700,000 undocumented children that are born to the country.
But I feel like part of the strategy is that he's flooding the zone like with some things that aren't a crisis, like because they're so blatantly dumb.
Yeah.
Like he will not be able to get rid of birthright citizenship. At least not in the way that he just tried to do it.
Yes.
People will not be assigning gender at the point of conception,
that
right?
Won't happen.
Because that is completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
But because those things are happening, he could take some of the attention away from the more truly harmful things he is doing, like the executive order that he just put out today.
Yes.
That is shutting down Medicaid for the entire country.
Exactly. That and so he's also going after DEI, right? Diversity, equity, inclusion, also accessibility. He actually specifically said in his memo today that he's going after accessibility, which I don't know what that means. Now he's running he's governing against people in wheelchairs.
That's insane.
What are we doing right now? But anyway, the point is he's throwing red meat at his base by using these buzzwords of DEI, the gender ideology. But then he's using that, like those stupid, meaningless things. I don't want to say DEI is meaningless, but you know what I mean. Those aren't materially relative things.
The culture war exclusive things.
Then gut all of benefits for poor and working class people.
It's so that he can create a boogeyman for the anger and the discontent that will arise from his bad policies for them to point their attention at.
What's also unfortunate is I think that this also strengthens his attacks against DEI, even from people like us, because we see this executive order. And, hopefully within 2 weeks, Medicaid will be back. And we'll be like, oh, thank God Medicaid's back. But while Medicaid was back, he also got rid of a 1965 civil rights era executive order that was signed by LBJ after getting pushed by Martin Luther King to do so.
So it's like he's removing the defenders.
He's removing the defenders because we're just so happy to catch our breath and be like, oh, thank God he didn't make the thing totally bad, right? But he still did something terrible. And so that is a very important strategy to watch out for here. I think he knows that a lot of this stuff won't happen, but he's testing the limits of his administration here.
Sure.
This impoundment, he is going to use impoundment to the highest order possible.
Yeah.
He is going to try to make Congress irrelevant. And it's going to be really, really scary if there is basically no Congress anymore, and it's just whatever the executive decides to fund.
At that point, we're in a dictatorship.
Maybe we already are.